Welcome guys, it's AG, you're watching Math to the Max. Today we will discuss inverse functions. Inverse, we know the inverse has the opposite or undoing an operation to get the original number letter of function. Function notation, f of x, g of x, any letter of x. The outside variable is the output and the inside variable is the input. So the inverse notation has the -1 as the exponent. The prior knowledge is knowing your inverse operations. The inverse of addition is subtraction. The inverse of multiplication is division. The inverse of an exponent is that root. Recall how to do 1 and 2 step equations. Recall how to do multi-step equations. So what's the process? So the first thing is the inverse of a coordinate point, xy, is yx. You just switch them. So the inverse of 2, 5 is 5, 2. Now let's find the inverse of a function. Write the equations in terms of y and x. Second, switch x and y. Third, solve for y. And lastly, write the final answer with the inverse notation. Alright, now that we got the process, you already know what time it is. It's time to go to work. Number one, how do you find the inverse? So remember the inverse, the notes we say you switch x and y, it becomes yx. So when I switch them, the inverse becomes -4 and 1. You switch to x and y. Because if you're driving, say if I'm driving from the house to Chick-fil-A. Alright, I don't go back to the house, so then we going from Chick-fil-A to the house. You just switch them. Number 2, so let's find the inverse. So the first step, make sure you have it in terms of y and x. That's the output, that's y. Now in terms of y and x. Switch a rule on them, switch x and y. And then solve for y. Get y by itself. So check it out. Look at what y is with. It's with the multiply by 2 side by side. It's with the subtract 2. So you gotta do the inverse, the opposite of those. Add the 3 on both sides, boom, boom. Now we're left with x plus 3 equals 2y. Last step, how you get rid of 2? Divide by 2 on both sides. Divide by 2. Since we got y by itself, that's the inverse. You write the inverse notation. Inverse notation is just your exponent is a -1 power. And then what we left with was x plus 3 over 2. Inverse, final answer. Look at this. The original problem is to multiply by 2, I see it divide by 2. The original problem is subtract 3, I see add 3. Those are the inverses. We got it. Boom. Alright, let's check out number 3. Alright, here we go. K of x equals x minus 4 over 2. The first step, make sure it's in terms of y and x. Boom, that's the output. X minus 4 over 2. Switch the rule on them. Switch the x to y. Solve for y. Alright. Nobody likes fractions. I don't know why, but because normally when we write and deal with stuff, we normally work with whole numbers and stuff. But anyway, how do you get rid of fraction? A fraction is nothing but division. So what's the opposite of division? Multiplication. So in order to get rid of divide by 2, multiply by 2. All right, these 2's cancel. So we're left with 2x equals y minus 4. Last step, since you would have subtract 4, the opposite of subtract or inverse is add 4, add 4. You remember you can't add those because that's like letters and numbers. So final answer, 2x plus 4 equals the y. You got the y by itself. So now you just write the inverse notation. Since we use k inverse. Final answer. Number 4. G of x equals x squared minus 1. It's not in terms of y and x. Make sure it is. So write y, that's the output, x squared minus 1. Switch your root, x and y. Solve for y. All right, I see two things with y. I see the square and I see the subtract 1. So you need to add the 1, add the 1. 1's cancel. X plus 1 equals y squared. How do you get rid of a power? Exponent 2, the opposite of square is square root. So square root, square and square root cancel, left with y. You solve for y. So you solve for the inverse. Now you remember you can't write just y or the g of x, but that means that's the original function. We did the inverse. So you write g inverse. And some of y'all might be thinking, hey, why are you writing it on the right side? I just want to keep it consistent. You remember if you put it on the left side, g inverse, and then this on the right side is the same thing. When it's equivalent or equal, it doesn't matter the side. A equals B, the same thing as B equals A. All right, final answer. So notice this, we got squared, I see my square root, we got my subtraction, we see our addition. The square root of that x plus 1 is your final answer. Final answer. Let's put plus or minus. You may have plus or minus. Normally we take the square root, it's plus or minus. Sorry. Pause the video to see if we can do number 5. Here are our answers again, and then for number 5, when we did our inverse, you have cubed it, you would subtract 1 and divided by 5. Thank you guys for watching Reach AKG's Math to the Max. Until next time, always striving for excellence and reaching for success.